Welcome to our Energy Connect studio at EGYPS 2023. I'm really glad to have sitting next to me Rashid Abdallah, Executive Director of the African Energy Commission.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you down. Can you tell me more about the African Union's Agenda 2063 and its position on the African energy transition?
Okay, thank you very much, and again, thank you for having me. Actually, just for you to understand, Agenda 2063, it is the African vision and also a far-approaching guide principle for how Africa needs to develop itself. And in fact, it is aimed to achieve an integrated Africa, prosperous Africa, driven by its own people, and also representative of a global in the global. So this Agenda 23 consists of several inspiration. Each inspiration, they are concentrated on in very specific area: economic development, science and technology, governance, democracy, peace and security, and all other elements that are important for African development. Each inspiration, they have specific goals that need to be achieved. In terms of the energy, I think it is element for all social development agenda, including transforming electricity, transforming agriculture, including transforming economic development based on our natural resources, ending poverty, and so forth. Now, when you see this agenda, it is very ambitious, but we cannot be achieved without energy. Energy, it is the key word in all this socio-economic development. And I think when you look at the current situation, you will find 50% of our population without access to electricity, 900 million without access to the clean cooking. Not only that, Africa is also growing, the population is growing. So by 2050, we expect to be 2.5 million instead of 1.4 million today. By 2100, Africa will be about 4 billion, which represents 40% of our global population. This means now, looking forward, Agenda 23 need to develop to make a sustainable development for African people now and in the future. And this comes the importance of the energy. And the position for African Union for energy transition, it is approved in July 2022, where call to use all the energy resources in Africa, depending on resource availability, sustainability, and affordability. And I think this is our position.
Rashid, thank you so much for going into that, and really interesting. And I just wanted to get your viewpoint on policy, or what policy makers should or can do to unlock the development of African gas.
Okay, in this point, I can mention, first of all, 5 points. First of all, we need to attract investment. Investment in exploration. For the country already they are producing gas, or the country they have potential to produce gas. We need to attract investment for cross-border trading between African countries, because natural gas is not available for all African countries. So we need to pull this resource to use for another country. In terms of the trading, we need to put policy that enable trading with African countries. And this is very important, because infrastructure, if we have without favorable policy for cross-border trading, it will not work. We need also to work on the energy access. Energy access, that means we need to invest more in building power plants using natural gas, in transmission line between our member states. That means member states, they are able to trade in electricity or trade in natural gas, because natural gas is not only need for electricity, it's also they have different use. We have industry, we have fertilizer facility, we have clean cooking. So we need to trade on electricity and trade on natural gas. And I think this area, it needs to be put in place right strategy, right policy, action plan, so that to enable that Africa can benefit from its own resources for make this energy poverty a history in Africa.
That's really interesting, Rashid. And actually, just mentioned energy poverty. Could you give me what you think? The current state of energy poverty in Africa, in light of the global dynamics that we've had to face. Post-COVID, high commodity prices. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Okay, the energy crisis in Africa, it is even before COVID. So, and even the COVID or even Ukraine crisis make it worse, but the problem is chronic. So now, more than 600 million without access to electricity. This 100 million represents 50% of our population. 900 million without access to the clean cooking. And this means that more people use charcoal and firewoods. They have multiple effects in terms of desertification, in terms of the land use, water use, and this also creates health problem for our people. So in terms of even fossil fuel for oil products, our consumption less than 50% of the global average. That means we are not have oil products that used for transport. That means we don't have means to move our product to the market, and this create affecting job creation in the continent. 50% of our energy balance in sub-Saharan Africa, it is charcoal and firewood, which it is only continent that they have charcoal and firewood, represent 50%. Despite the fact that we have a resource in oil, we have a resource in natural gas, but the problem, we export 80% of our oil product, petroleum, and also export 40% of natural gas. So the way forward, I think it is how, or the challenge we have, how to establish a domestic African oil and gas market. That means member states, they trade among themselves. That means they will fill gap of the energy access.
Thank you very much, Rashid. I appreciate you coming down to the Energy Connect studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.